Hi, my name is Keith Barbour. I'm president of Midlothian and East Lothian Chamber of Commerce. And we're here today to talk about business development and sales and how best our members can improve their business, grow their business. At the end of the day, that's what the Chamber of Commerce is about. It's us helping you, our members, grow the business and do that through sometimes business development, helping them with finance, you name it, we do it. Well, today we have got someone to introduce to you. It's a guy called Gerry Forristal. He is a business development expert, consultant, call him what you will. He probably will call him what he is. And he's here today to talk to us about some workshop he's going to be helping us with come February. So over to Gerry Forristal, business consultant, guru, call him what you will. Here's Gerry.
What was the famous phrase? I am not your guru, is it? Lovely to have you. Thank you. It's good to be here today. Cheers for the call, Keith. Yeah, so we're running a workshop on the 20th of February. It's at 9 a.m. to 12:30, so it's more or less a half-day workshop at
Okay.
the Esk Mills Business Park for the chamber members, and it's focusing on buyer behavior. So how does buyer behavior affect your sales piece of your business?
Yeah.
Over 25 years of working in businesses of all shapes and sizes, there's three things that I've seen that are always consistently present in those organizations that are the most successful. And by successful, I mean they're growing year on year, and they're profitable year on year, and they have a very loyal customer base, like very loyal. So what are the three things that they all do that are consistently present? They qualify their customers in advance, and then they stick rigidly to those qualifiers. So they know exactly, and by that I don't just mean demographics. It's also about, what does a great customer behave like? And most of your members will have those great customers that just get what you do, they pay on time, and they're just a joy to deal with.
Yeah.
So in the workshop we'll be talking about, how can you effectively qualify your buyers in advance. The
Well,
second thing
what do you mean by qualify? What do you mean by qualify? So some of our members might not understand that
that,
language, not being in the game.
Sure. Well, most people, you'll have a good idea in your head already, your
Yeah,
members, of,
yeah,
what makes a really good customer.
yeah.
So if you can take that apart and break it down, look at your customers, your favorite ones, and look at their behaviors, and that's a great place to start. And if you're still struggling, just think to yourself, what's the worst possible type of customer we could have? And just do the opposite. And that's a good place to start.
Okay.
And obviously we'll be diving much deeper into that. So you think about what should we be qualifying for, like affordability. How would we know if a prospective buyer can afford to pay our prices or not?
Yes.
Or where are they? How would we know where they are in their purchasing decision?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's the kinds of things that we'll be getting into and considering.
Okay.
The second thing that's always present in these organizations that are consistently growing year on year is that they establish their credibility early on, and then
Mhm.
they build on it throughout the lifetime of that customer relationship with that buyer who becomes a customer. So we'll be talking about credibility quite a bit, and how do you establish your credibility early on? Because most people that has ever been in a sales position, and if we think about it, everybody in our company is in a sales position, because if you're invoicing, you're in a sales position. If you're
Yeah.
delivering the product or service, you're in a sales position. So everybody in the organization is really in the business of sales, which is why, it's good for everybody to learn this. But how do you leverage your credibility? How do you establish it and then leverage it? And what impact does credibility have? And most people in a sales posts have learned about, how important trust is. And
Yeah.
we were talking about that a little bit earlier today as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Somebody trusts you, then, they're more likely to lean into you and to, buy from you and so forth.
Yeah.
But in buyer behavior, the trust really is not so much to do about the person who's selling, but in the buyer trusting themselves to choose you.
Yeah.
because they're full of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's always one of those three things, or all three of those things, when it comes to potentially buying from you,
Mhm.
regardless of what they're trying to choose. Um, but if they believe that you're credible, that you resonate with their reality, you understand what's going on with their world, the thing that they're trying to fix, the thing that they're trying to have, to move from this place to that place in the future. If they think you're credible, then they will trust themselves to make the decision to choose you. So we'll be getting into that, and how the
Yeah.
limbic brain, affects decision making, because that part, the limbic brain, is the part of our brain that drives all human emotions and feelings, all human behavior. But that part of the human brain has no capacity for language. That happens out here in the neocortex, in the newer human brain. So how do we communicate with the decision part of the brain if the decision part of the brain doesn't rely on language?
Mm.
How do you communicate with it? We'll be diving into that in the workshop as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, and then the third thing that exists in most of these organizations that I've worked with is that they only ever move forward in their process when the permission has either been and granted,
Yes. Yeah.
sought or granted.
Mm.
I think too often people find themselves, dragged kicking and screaming through somebody else's sales process, and people are past that now.
Yeah.
Buyers are far more sophisticated these days. They really, really are. I think I was reading recently a statistic where, because of the internet and access to information and knowledge,
Mhm. Yeah.
people actually enjoy researching, whether that's researching a holiday or buying a new car, or some new
Yeah.
machinery for the factory, or whatever it might be. People actually enjoy the research part of it. So by the time they get to you, they very often are roughly around 60 to 75% of the way towards their decision.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that by the time they get to you, the urge is often to, info dump. Oh, well, here's how we'll do this. Here's how we'll resolve these issues for you. Here's how we'll fix your problem. Here's why you should choose us.
Yeah.
But actually the opposite should be happening. The prospective buyer, they want info dump,
Mhm. Mhm.
so give them the space. Let them, they want to show you about all the research that they've done. Here's what I know, here's what I understand. Even if they're wrong, let them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let them fill that space.
Yeah. I'm always a great believer in allowing the buyer to talk and
Yeah.
get him to tell you what he wants, what he believes. Let him, and you must always be a very, very good listener. Don't
Yeah,
dive in.
the
Yeah, all that.
80/20
Yeah,
rule,
so
yeah.
I'm on your side on this one for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. So if you can deploy those three things into your business,
yeah,
perfectly qualify your customers
yeah.
continuously, and you might have different qualifiers because you might have more than one type of customer.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you might have a range of products or services, whether you're business to consumer or business to business. So you might have numbers of different kinds of qualifiers, but then
yeah.
stick to them rigidly.
Hmm.
Build on your credibility early. So I'll be showing people how you can lean into your credibility, because a lot of people aren't aware of how to access that credibility part of their business,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how they can use that powerfully in their sales communications. Um, and how to build in permissions into your process so that people
Mm.
don't feel like they're being pulled through a system, that they're literally walking along willingly with you. So we'll be talking about micro permissions and question
Okay,
softeners, and how you can
okay.
build that into your sales process.
Yes, yes.
So that's the nuts and bolts of it, really.
Okay, okay. And so the sessions are during an afternoon, or what? Tell me a bit more
There-
about the session itself.
No problem. It's on the 20th of February.
20th February. Yep.
Yeah, it starts at 9 a.m. It
Right.
goes from 12:30. We'll have a break in the middle, for some
Okay.
comfort
Okay.
break, coffee and tea and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd recommend that people kind of hang on a little bit afterwards if they can, just for a
Yeah.
little bit of networking with the other attendees, because that's always
I would
valuable.
always encourage that, Jerry. Always encourage that because the more
Exactly.
people talk to each other, the more business they're going to do.
Yeah.
Networking is key. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And I
Okay.
think it's £90 plus VAT per member. I think that was
Okay.
the special price that we agreed with.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know if there's another price for non-members. There probably is. I don't know what that is off the top of my head.
That will
Um,
be on the website. That's not an issue. That's a problem.
yeah,
That's great.
it's already up on the website on the events
Yes,
page. So if you go to the calendar and click on it, all the rest of the details
great.
will open up. And I'm really looking forward to seeing a full room on the day.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it too. If you don't mind, I will be there. Just
Please
put
do. Yeah, no, I'd be
put my
glad to see
order.
you. We'll have,
Excellent.
it's a lot of fun. I promise you that. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's very interactive.
That's great, Jerry. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you
And I
very
hope
much.
as many of our members do the same. Thank you
Thank
very much, Lee, for your help.
you.
Love it. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.